females of Reddit, what is the thing a plus size gamer gentleman has told you that has made you want to immediately have with him and be his girlfriend? Hey cutie, attempts to hide my tail and wings and massive gigantic horse wolf. Source: TF was he trying to be? Why would you combine a wolf and a horse? So you can run fast and run fast? Both of which are kind of pointless when you can fly. Why is he trying to start with a confident hey cutie? Then immediately tell you he is trying to hide all this stuff and be shy, but then go out of his way to use double adjectives massive gigantic to reassert that it is all quite noticeable. Honestly, it's just lazy writing. If you're going to start off with a hey I'm interested in you and also I'm into this really non-vanilla thing message, put the dang effort in and come up with some believable lore and a solid backstory. Do some research into creative writing if you're using that as your pickup tactic. Hell. He tutored me in college and I'd just gone through a bad breakup. He said a ton of super awkward but he went to a jazz band concert with me and we had real fun. Didn't bang right away, but ended up going on more dates and study sessions and eventually realized we were in love. 4 years later we're married and just bought our first house. He doesn't game as much anymore, nor does he wear fedoras anymore, got into NASCAR and loves to do puzzles with me. He's the greatest emo. Edit, a word. He's into NASCAR now? Did you ruin a perfectly good nerd? I detest NASCAR XD, but I did make him more sentimental throughout the years, and he used to go to the races with his grandma when he was a child. She's passed away now, so really it's an homage to her, I think. By the way guys, if you are enjoying this video so far, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It will help us out quite a bit, and if you don't enjoy the videos in the future anymore, you can always unsubscribe. Let's get back to the video. I once had one of these gentlemen tell me, and I quote, "I wish you were more promiscuous, so we could have Alas, alack, I have standards." Edit, now my new top comment is about a guy who tried to get me into bed and failed. This is either a new high or a new low in my life. I had another that purchased magazines, like Cosmo and others, with articles about so I would realize sleeping with him would be awesome. I've always wondered what it would be like having with someone that learned their technique entirely through Cosmo and nothing else, especially not experience. My best guess is something like have someone go downstairs and turn off the main circuit breaker to your house for safety when setting up, and then pleasure in surprise. Fill your sink's garbage disposal up with peanut butter. Make sure the switch is on. Hang a juicer from the ceiling. Preload with 1 XXL lemon and arm the juice button. Jam a fork in the electrical socket by the sink. While holding your hand down the drain, not too far, grab onto the fork. Look up towards the juicer. Then have your assistant throw the breaker switch to the mains back on. Enjoy the experience of a lifetime. He told me I was beautiful, and it was nice to hear. You're beautiful, and that's nice to hear. It was odd at first, but I quickly got used to being told how I feel. You're beautiful. You appreciate it when I say this to you. You think other women should feel flattered when I say it to them. I assure you that they do. You relax, comforted by the knowledge that women treat me properly. You begin to grow damp in your pants. You realize you've urinated. WTF. The line between fantasy and reality are blurred, if not broken completely by the weight of mankind smashing the Undertaker through a table, an announcer's table. You have forgotten where you were, where you will be, only the moment seems to matter. I feel like a man trapped in a simulation, and someone from the outside world is trying to send me a cryptic message through my dreams that is just strange enough to make it past the firewall. My friend is a plus size gamer. He always had a string of lovely girlfriends. He's now married, and his wife is also a gamer. I believe they met at Dungeons and Dragons. None of my friend's girlfriends have been conventionally beautiful, but he's a happy guy, and he loves his wife. I believe the answer is realistic expectations, and going for women who share your interests. If you're a nerdy guy you're going to have the most fun with a nerdy woman. Why make yourself miserable chasing people you have nothing in common with? I'm not saying this is you, but I've seen it happen. I know another guy who fits the nerdy gamer description. He has a sense of entitlement and everyone hates him. If he had the same attitude as the friend I mentioned, who everyone loves, things might be different for him. Also, treating those women as people. As a woman with nerdy interests, I love to talk about them. What I don't love is having a man project his nerd girl fantasy onto me because I like one or two of the things he does. A guy who genuinely wants to talk and hang out without immediately salivating over the fact I've got. Thank God. Plus, what's the downside of this approach? If things don't progress further, you made a friend with shared interests. If you want to be cynical about it, I bet that female friend has other female friends into the stuff you like, and if you're a good guy, she'll introduce you. If you're creepy, that girl will pick up on it and likely tell her other female friends, because we travel in packs. Source: I'm nerd girl. Have male nerd friends who I don't personally find attractive, but will unquestionably hype up to my friends, because they are both my friends, so I obviously think they're both cool. I'm GM and raid leader of a top 25 raiding guild in WoW. Poof, pant is gone. Edit for real, that's how I met my husband, and knew I wanted to sleep together. He may be an eck but he said thanks mladia the first time. I'm GM and raid leader of a top 25 raiding guild in WoW. Oh yes, this was especially true during Wrath era. All my guy friends in the guild I was in were seriously considering leaving to start their own, because there was an astounding number of guild and raid leaders getting thirsted after by female players if they were ranked on the charts. Leaders getting thirsted after by female players if they were ranked. I never cared for WoW, but all I knew about it back in 2007 was that my friend and his fiancée were having issues. She was exactly one if those thirsty women pining over her guild leader. Ended up leaving my friend for him when he bought her a bus ticket to go live with him, probably in his parents' basement. My pal took it pretty hard, came to my apartment and downed a bottle of cheap brandy and cried. He's married to a Korean lady now and has 2 kids. IDK, what happened to his ex? I'm glad your friend was able to move on and start a life with someone else. It's wild how much real life drama could stem between players in an MMO. My now husband and I were still dating and already living together at the time we joined a raiding guild with our friends. He quickly became the main healer, and one of the secondary healers was a girl who was quite frankly to me because I wasn't on the core raiding team and therefore didn't deserve him lol. Serious answer for gamer dudes or gentlemen on the plus size. So that you can see it's not all memes and mean stuff. Though not gonna lie, some of these funny as hell. He listened to me and my issues. We knew each other a good long time on a D&D group. We grew closer and started talking and hanging out online outside the group. One night he asked me the sweetest thing, you miss every shot you don't take. Do you wanna go out sometime? After that we had a long distance relationship for a while. I was in FL, he was in CAB. He came down once and we were still going strong. A few months later I had just started a job. A stressful I.T. job, and when came home and I walked in the door he was standing there with flowers and a grin. He surprised me traveling across the country just for me. We are engaged now. We live together and someday I'm gonna have this amazing man's kids. Edit. Thanks for the karma and rewards everyone. Also he got into my then home through my roommate, which was our mutual friend. She picked him up from the airport and also let him inside the house. Was so stressed from work and so surprised by the gesture I spent the first 5 minutes of seeing him happy / stress crying with my face buried in his chest. He thought for a hot second he did something wrong until I was able to blooper a thank you. Being given headpats when you're stressed rocks. Serious answer in case any younger gamer gentlemen are struggling with relating to women. He listened when I talked. Actually listened. Didn't try to talk over me. Didn't try to explain everything to me. He listened to what I was saying and cared about it. He talked to me like I was an adult human being who was just as smart and capable as he is. He took interest in my interests. To clarify, because I've seen people mess that up. Taking interests in a woman's interests is fine as long as you approach it in terms of this makes them happy, so I'll listen to them and maybe give them an occasional gift related to it at gift giving occasions. It does not mean I must love everything she loves and then she'll like me. For example, I don't really care about football at all, but I knew that a Steelers license plate frame was a perfect birthday gift for my mother. If the Steelers lose, then, well, I don't really care, but I'll listen to her complain and go, oh that stinks. On her side, she sent me a link to the original announcement about Viz acquiring the rights to a dub Sailor Moon. She doesn't like anime at all, but she knows that I enjoy that particular one, and was happy to see me happy. You don't have to like her interests. If you do, great. But if you don't, do not pretend that you do. Just let us be enthusiastic about it. I'm into nerdy, chubby guys. When we were fooling around for the first time, he said, hey, is this okay? With love and genuine concern in his eyes. Of course I said yes. A respectful, sweet, funny kid with a soft tummy and a big heart just wanted to make that moment perfect for me. I'm marrying him in October. This is the sweetest thing. Congratulations. I also love me a good fluffy man. Mine told me his favorite game was Final Fantasy Tactics and we talked about it for hours. Then he taught me League of Legends, and we still play together today. Been married 10 years. I wish you both all the best. If you like tactics and FFXI, you should consider trying the FXIV free trial together. It gives you both air and HW content to level 64 free, and the next expansion has the Ivaless raid series that had Matsuno writing the story. He said, I'm not like other guys, I'm actually nice if you give me a chance, but I was still skeptical, so I didn't reply for an hour, but then he texted me, you plastic. Women these days only want muscular men who don't care about them. Nice guys finish last, and I squirted a hole in my wall instantly. He chuckles to himself, a cascade of Cheeto dust flowing down the many folds in his unwashed flesh as his Pringles concised finger hovers over the neon orange enter key. His XXL RGB backlit keyboard had lit up with every color in the past, but after ages of his nasty fingers dancing across the board, not a single key has been left without a permanent sticky residue of coagulated cheese puffs and cum crust. As his disgusting finger descends towards the smudged rectangle, he feels it. Just pain. His time has come. The double wide gaming chair begins to creak as his 400-pound body begins to slip from his seat to the floor, his 400-pound soul slipping from this world to the next. As his body descends through the air, performing a sloppy pirouette, his meaty ham gloves slap the keyboard one final time. As his body comes to rest on the ground, his final comment is posted. I'm not like other guys, I'm actually nice if you give me a chance. I'll add another serious answer to the like 2.5 that are here. Met a guy on OkCupid who was super cute, bigger, but it really doesn't bother me. As I've gotten older, I prefer heftier guys at first glance rather than slimmer guys, especially since I'm bigger myself. As we all know, though, it comes down to regular personality. This will come up in a second. He was so very sweet, charming, coy but not, like, overwhelming, and we agreed to meet up. I had to pick him up, no DL, still not an issue, especially since he was going to be getting it within the month since we met. Or so he said. As cute in person as he was on the app. Butterflies, my dudes. He told me he was so surprised and excited to match with such a beautiful woman, which was so fun, because it was like OMG me too. You're cute. I can't believe this worked out. Then, halfway to Taco Bell, he told me females and feminists are liars and bait men. Yes, eyes no. My thought process exactly like on Uhu. Why you gotta say that when you're in my car being driven somewhere? On God, what the heck? He was doing so well from resound of it too. Some people just need to figure out that hatefulness isn't an attractive trait. Or in general, not a good trait at all. Seriously. Like overall he was actually pretty cool. Made me laugh, was comfortable just playing video games while I watched, something I love to do, but feel awkward asking about because people usually think I'll get bored or something, was very sweet with me. But I literally won't tolerate any kind of hateful blanket statements about other people. I mentioned somewhere else, I totally forgot about this, but he also complimented me by telling me he liked that I don't hide behind Macup like other girls. Like, nope, I'm going to protect my Macup wearing girls, or people in general, and by insulting them you've insulted me. Referred to women as women instead of females. As a woman, I think being referred to as females is so it just reminds me of my inferiority. This is satire, please don't kill me. There's nothing hotter than being called a female. Spend all your money and time on WoW and degrade me, daddy. Also satire lol. You keep adding the satire part and I don't think it's going to attract the tenders you were hoping for. A female cannot feed on satire alone. Yeah, I love being treated like an object by a self-obsessed man. Well that's just perfect, because there are only two types in this world. You're either a man, or you're property. Please be aware that this comment is sarcastic and intended solely for comedic purposes and does not accurately reflect the poster's views on gender equality. As an overweight guy who games, be funny. Be interesting. Don't be a I'm married now, but I did very well with the ladies. Like, I have no right to have as many women interested in me as I do/did. Also, being a gamer isn't a personality replacement. This is also me. It has become a running joke with my boss about how often I get hit on when we travel for business and I don't do anything for the attention. It is pretty easy, be genuine, listen at least as much as you talk, have a sense of humor, practice good hygiene, be confident, which is not the same as an and show legitimate interest in what people say and do. This is not limited to potential partners, this is good advice for any type of relationship. Practice good hygiene. Do rude. You cannot be that oblivious. That their carrot is the magic wisdom. I feel like you get me, you know? Anyway. The court date is set, and we got the best judge we can. We are going to trial. A few months after I met a guy, I was going through a really hard time at work. It got so bad to the point where I totally lost my appetite and was losing weight rapidly. I was so stressed out one night that I cried my eyes out and told him everything. He told me that everything was going to be okay, how much he liked and cared about me. It felt so good to have someone support me through everything, especially me not eating, because I was extremely embarrassed about it and couldn't tell anyone. Every day he would ask if I was eating, and a couple of times, when he found out I didn't, he got food delivered to my house and told me to eat it, or it'd be wasting his money. It may have seemed like a threat, but it really did make me eat. I'm pretty sure if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here now. Oh dang, that's really lovely. I'm happy for you. Thank you. Partner and I are both skinny nerds, but I do feel this relates to part of your question. My partner is super shy. Very quiet and not very chatty with people outside of his inner circle at all. I do not look like a nerd, and I'm often met with surprise when I express my interests in gaming. Once we were hanging out with mutual friends and everyone was just chatting away to each other, and I couldn't remember the name of an obscure NPC in an old game that I adore, and he chimed in across from me knowing exactly who I was talking about. We shared a smile and never stopped talking. We have been together for 6 years and will be married as soon as I'm well enough. He said later that he was so scared to talk to me, and I was just thrilled he was even listening to me, as I often just assumed he wasn't interested in what I had to say. He is my best friend, handsome lover, and my player one, the most amazing man in the entire world, and I adore him with my whole heart. I'm so glad he was brave enough to talk to me that day. My advice would be that listening to people goes a really long way. Engage with them if you share common interests. Ask them questions. Listen to the answers. Make dumb jokes. Express your opinions and see if you share any. treat females like human beings rather than elusive creatures of myth, and remember that being honest and being your true self is far more attractive than pretending to be what you think someone might be looking for. Sincerity is rare and beautiful and doesn't cost a thing. I actually dated this one for a few months. You're actually are asterisk you're stupid. I played you for months. I used you to get what I wanted. Don't think I saw anything in you. I saw weakness in you. I could turn you into what I wanted. I could mold you into the girl I wanted. I didn't want you. I wanted power. The exploitation to turn you into something better. I seriously don't give a rat what you think. Your opinion no longer matters. I go to a top school. I have money. I have brains. Got the real alpha male here. Holy cow. Didn't last very long, but this guy also threatened to kill me, and when he found out I was dating someone else said he was going to find the beta male and dominate mayo. I ain't surprised myself really, but my BF, 25, and I, 21, have been together for 2.5 years. And the way we met is odd, and tbh I'm glad he's the way he is. He legitimately JoJo posed into my heart. Now this didn't make want to sleep with him, but it did open my eyes. One day, while he was in town, he goes to a college out of town. I told him I wasn't having the best day at school. I think I failed a test and a project or something. This man, without a second beat, said I'm on my way, meet me outside your next class. Not only did he have my schedule memorized, but he had my favorite meal at the time memorized. So, there I'm waiting, and here comes this big broad 5'10" man, looking like a Linebacker with a small Wendy's bag and a bouquet of roses. And says here, these roses made me think of you, and I thought they could make you feel better. I also got you a 444, with a chocolate frosty for your fries. I don't know about y'all, but I had never been going roses, just for having a bad day, let alone him bringing them to me in a public area. At this moment, there wasn't a doubt that this man was too good to me, and I couldn't just let him go. A few weeks later he asked me, and my father, if I could be his girlfriend, and without missing a beat I said yes. That was in 2018. In 2020 I lost my dad, and moved in with my boyfriend. It's been the best decision I have ever made. This man makes my world whole, and I hope I make his the same way. It's up when guys share a girl. Literally just hearing some sentiment that makes me feel like I'm not a piece of meat makes me look at a man in a whole new light. My husband is beautiful, but even if he was 300 pounds, the fact he looks at women like people instead of trophies makes me want to jump his bones. And to highlight the opposite of this, I was talking to some dude that was an ekbadweeaboo, spelling stereotype that my therapist set me up with, and I was legit into his weirdness until he said, if you send a guy all his friends are going to see them. That's just how it is. And told me about his friends passing around their girls like they were candy. Never spoke to him again after that. Seriously, just treating women like a dude you're trying to be friends with will win over so many, as long as you're genuine and don't treat them like if it turns out they don't want to sleep with you. You won't get every single one you want, there's no magic trick to it, and plenty of women will turn you down. But acting like they are people instead of a trophy will at least help get your foot in the door. This is the end of the video. Thank you guys for staying with me till the end. If you enjoyed watching this, you might as well watch these too.